Not sure if you can hear the rain. I got a feeling I may have messed up the numbers, but let's just go with it. Number 29, part 29. I'm more than halfway through this thing, but I'm liking where this book is going. But like I said, there's still some room to run off the rails here, but we'll see what happens. I don't think that's going to happen. I did look to see where. I just went to Amazon. I'm sure it's somewhere else. Like I said, I got this years ago at the Salvation Army. Right now, it's $72 on Amazon, which means it's probably no longer in print. And until someone stumbles across a bunch of them and puts them on there, it'll be down to $4 or $5. But you get these when there might be just one in existence, or so they claim. But it was like $72. But I'm sure there's something else out there. Okay. I have caught a number of parrots in the jungle over the years, and these birds have the capability of learning to talk. They cannot talk like you and I, but some of the better ones can pick up a vocabulary of 30 or more words. I have even seen cases where parrots could use those words in a seemingly intelligent fashion, but the parrot does not necessarily pick up the words you want to teach it. It is prone to picking up words at certain key times. If the bird is out in the rain and gets soaked, it likes to talk when it is wet. It will sit and talk its head off and pick up on all sorts of phrases when it is cold, wet, and shivering. You can sit with a dry parrot and try to teach it all you want, but it has to be out in the rain to understand. It is under situations of seeming adversity that these birds pick up whatever they are going to repeat for the rest of their lives. That's interesting. You can have all your set phrases that you are trying to teach the parrot and spend time continuously repeating them. And then at the wrong moment, you can make one slip of the tongue, and that is what you will listen to for the rest of the life of that parrot. It will even catch the exact tone of your voice. All you have to do is say one angry word to your wife or to your child, or one swear word, and that's probably what will be repeated. You have to get rid of the parrot if you do not want to listen to that phrase. In quotes, every tree that does not bring forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire, so that by their fruits ye shall know them. That's Matthew 7. One tree produces little, scraggly, wormy, rotten apples, and the other produces great, big, delicious, luscious apples. Same species, one is rotten to the core. We are talking about human beings who are created in the image of God. Some of them allow themselves to be molded and imprinted on the character of God through a total change of heart. And imprinted on the character of God through a total change of heart. Others pretend to do this, but their heart stays the same. Out of our heart springs what flows out of our mouths. A spring cannot have two kinds of water. It cannot be both salty and sweet at the same time. Whoops. In quotes. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of the heavens, but he that doeth the will of my Father who is in the heavens. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in the name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Once again, Matthew 7. Have you ever taken a bite into a piece of fruit and discovered it was rotten, and that it tasted terrible, or there was a worm in it, and you had to spit it out? It nauseated you, and you could not stand to eat it. This is what God is talking about here. He is talking about getting hold of some rotten fruit that he just could not stand to eat. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. The word peacemaker is an interesting term. Another way of saying it would be the ones who put together or build peace, the ones who reflect peace. We don't really make our own peace because our peace comes from God. But the peacemakers are the ones who radiate or project God's peace around them wherever they go. One day during the time I was held hostage by communist guerrillas, I had been talking to their nurse. All of a sudden, there were tears in her eyes. She looked at me and said, "I envy you because you have your own personal peace, and I don't." She was the one with the machine gun and the hand grenade, the physical weapons, and I was the one tied up while she was pointing her gun at me. There was every natural reason in the world for her to be at peace and not me. But it was the other way around. She could tell I did not have to say a word. The peacemakers are those who radiate the peace of the Lord. Peace is not just the absence of war. The word peace is Hebrew, shalom, is one of the most complex and all-encompassing terms in the Bible. It is talking about being safely and wholesomely at rest. Being in God's rest is to be at peace. Peace is not just a superficial tranquility, indicating that there is nothing going on right now, so it is peaceful. In the biblical sense of the word, there can be peace right in the middle of a full-blown war, right in the middle of the most tremendous conflict you can imagine, right in the middle of a disaster because it is an inward state. Peace is the result of the projection of God's power deep into the depths of our soul, convincing us that nothing in this world can eternally harm us as long as we have Him. Being at peace with God is being in communion with God. It is having a conscience that is devoid of offense. It is a state of perfection of the heart and is a direct descendant of the pure in heart. Only the pure in heart shall see God face to face. It is the kind of peace that can only come from the presence of God. It is a peace that is there wherever God's presence is, no matter what the external circumstances. It is a peace that is instantly available to any of us, no matter what kind of difficulty, no matter what kind of problem, no matter what kind of trial or tribulation we are facing or going through. It is a peace that other people can see reflected in us even as we respond to difficult circumstances. The Hebrew verb to restore also comes from the same root as the word for peace. It is one of the most frequently used verbs in the Bible and is used in many places to mean that God wants to bring us, and all creation for that matter, back into harmony or peace with Himself. It is the root for the word covenant and also includes the connotation of being made pure and clean. When I was a kid, my dad used to tell me, life's circumstances are not nearly as important as your reaction to them. In the end, life's conflicts and injustices will be remembered in the light of how we dealt with them. What will go down in history, what will go down in God's books, will be our response to life's circumstances. How did we respond when this or that happened? This is the way it is in many superficial areas of life. Think of a baseball game. Think of baseball games. Do people remember how every pitch went? No, they don't. They only remember when somebody hits a home run or when something spectacular happens. Do they remember every throw to the first baseman? No, but if he drops the ball, they remember it. If our hearts are pure before God, if His presence and peace are there in our lives, no matter what kind of wild pitch we are served, we will respond in a godly manner. Our natural reaction will be godly because our innermost being is filled with God and with His power. I used to wish when ugly things happened or when difficult problems occurred, if only I could have a few minutes to get away by myself, to kneel down, pray, seek the Lord, and find out how to respond. It is when I am in an emergency and I have to make a snap decision right away that what I really am inside is exposed for all to see. Do I fly off the handle or shoot from the hip, or is the peace of God still in control? I'm going to leave it right there. Love you. God bless.